Before we get started on the strategy that I have up there, I want you to focus on this one. No one kind of did this, which I'm kind of glad. But I know that a previous student of mine did do it one year. And I want you to talk to your partners about what they did. But I want you to listen first. So this is what they did. They said to me, Mr. So, I started grouping everything in twos. I can make twos. So then I didn't know how many, so I had to count. So I said 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 1, 2, 22, 3, 24, 26.
28.
Oh, I know, I'm just telling you what the student did. 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. So talk to your partner. What did they actually do in this strategy? Even though they wrote it like this, what did they actually end up doing? What was he doing? Did they count by twos the whole time? In the end, were they counted by twos?
On and on.
Okay, 1, 2. What was this particular student doing with their strategy? What were they doing? Gershon?
I think the lesson to the answer.
So they were adding.
Choose. I want to say add.
They were adding 2 every time. Were they adding 2 every time?
Yes. No.
Yeah?
No. No. Yes. No.
We can't just say yes or no. You have to give an explanation of what you're thinking. Angel?
Because when they were doing grouping by twos, they forgot some twos inside. So like in the middle of over there, they skipped a number. That's why the 42 was supposed to be at the end. They just counted 42 one group before the end.
What was happening though as they were counting? Pranav?
It ended up taking a long time.
Yeah, counting by twos. They were still so they did the grouping. Did they group?
Yes.
Yeah, they saw groups, which I'm took a long time.
I'm going downstairs because they called me.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Took a long time. But were they really counting by twos? Agree? I see yeses, I see no's. So
Because they like skipped one number, so they didn't like really properly count by twos.
agree?
Some places they had to count by ones.
So at times they started counting by ones. So what would you say to the student? What would their next steps be to the student? What do you think they would start have to practice? Pardon?
Multiply.
Probably. But I think before they got to the multiplying, I think they needed to practice something a bit more. Pravnor?
Like memorizing counting by twos.
Like not memorizing but practicing your counting by twos. Now how many of you have done this? Maybe not with twos, but maybe in higher numbers, like 3. You're good for the first 3. You're like 3, 6, 9.
12, 16.
You know, you're good for a couple of rounds, and then all of a sudden you have to go from that point. You have to go and you have to count by ones all the way up. How many of you still do that?
I kind of understand.
It may not be 2s, it may not be 3s, but maybe in 4s and 5 or 6s.
And 4.
Yeah. Maybe some of you are doing in 2s. Good. I'm glad you're reflecting on that.
I almost get stuck on.
So, the help I can say in this, yes, you are grouping. I'm glad about that. Is to probably a good way of grouping things now that we're in grade.
No.
No, and we're gonna talk about that as we go on. But yes, you can do it. What's the downside of this? Took a long time. Maybe just a tad faster than counting by ones. And you need to have good practice at skip counting. Okay, this brings me to Parneet's group. If you can come up, Vidula and Parneet, and explain your strategy to me. Go wash your eye out. Go wash your eye out. So this is the one here that they did here. I drew it up because I knew what you did.
So, we first like made groups of 5. So half was 5 and half was 2. So we first we first counted all the 5. Wait. Oh, we counted by 7. No, wait, 10. And then we first did 4 and then we did 3.
So you counted by tens, right? And how did you find the tens?
We did 7 from the bottom, we took 3, and then we repeated it 4 times.
So you took the 7 and then 3. And then you took 7 and then 3. And you took 7 and then you took 3, right? And you did 7 and you took, good. And you got 4 and then you were left with what?
2.
Good. Thank you very much. Can you tell me in your own words, what did they do? What did Parneet and Vidula have to do to solve this equation? Or solve how many were left? What did they do? 4 people? When you talk to someone next to you, it's up here on the board if you need to refer to something.
So like day 7, 3, 2,
Okay, so they counted by 10 4 times, and then they
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Amber, do you know what they did up there? And why did they do 7 and 3? Is 10 a really friendly number?
Yeah.
Can you count by tens really quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2s are a friendly number, they are, but which faster, counting by tens or counting by 2s? What's the downside to this, though? How did Parneet and Vidula get 10? How did they get 10? Vidula, you want to say it again?
Yeah, we got like 10 by first we took 7, then we added 3 more because 7 plus 3 is 10, so then we kept on doing that and then we made 42.
Is that what you, so tell me if I'm doing this wrong. So you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you saw 3 right away, and that made 10. Then you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3 more. You saw 3 right away, made 10. Then you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more made 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more made 10.
We didn't count by by ones. Actually, we actually.
Oh, sorry. That's what I was trying to figure. So how did you get the 7?
So like first we did 5s because we thought it was like gonna be 5, but then when we added the another one we saw 10, and then we saw that we can make 2 combinations, 7 and 3, and then we added them together and made 10, and then we kept on doing that.
So you counted by 5s first?
Yeah.
So you went 5, 2, and 3? Okay, sorry, it's 5, 2, and 3. Okay, so you still saw. Okay. Any downsides to this? Any cons to counting this way? Okay, maybe if we move on to the next one, and then you might see some things happening and shifting through here. Okay. Can I have Samema, Arjun, and Pravjot? Why don't you come up and explain your first way that we did it? together? So what did you do? What did you do down here?
We counted by count 5. Then we counted 5 more. Then we counted by 5 up to 24. Then we made 7 5. Then we added 2 more. And 1 5 and 1 2. Then we added them. Then we made 40. Then we made 24.
Okay. Any questions? I have one. Any questions about their strategy? Ibri?
How many groups did you have to make the size? We have 5 groups.
5 groups? So you make groups of 5. Does anyone know where they got the groups of 5 from? I don't know. Where did you get the groups of 5 from?
We counted 5, then we counted 5 down, then we got.
So you count 5 across first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then we knew the 5 was down, then we made down more.
And how many down ones did you end up having?
We had 24.
No, how many groups of 5s did you have?
We had
Arjun, how many groups of 5 did you have? How many groups?
35. 35.
35 groups? That's a lot of groups of 5. How many groups of 5? Can anyone tell? Help them out. How many groups of 5 did they end up making? Gershon? 7? 6 groups of 5. So thank you so much. Have a seat. Thank you. So yeah, they made 6 groups of 5. And Samema, you said the answer was 30. What did that leave you? Grade 2s, what did that leave them? Did they count all the the Connect 4 pieces? No. So what did that leave them with? I know a lot of you did similar strategies, so. If you think through here. Prabhat, what did it leave you with? No, that's how much you had left over. That's how much you used, right? What did it leave you with? Natron? Yeah, how did you get that so quickly?
Because I got it by 2, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, and that equals 12.
Good. Is there a faster way than counting by twos?
Yes.
Prabhat?
I saw 3 and 3, so I knew that made 6, and on the other side I saw 3 and 3, so I just doubled 6 and 6, and that made 12.
Yeah, another 2 groups of,
6.
and together that was 42. So the question is then, what is the same and what is different between these two strategies? Same answer, but do you notice anything different or the same about it? Why don't you talk to someone next to you? What's the same and different?
They just got something.
What's the same?
And it was 12 to it. So 1, 3 tenths was 1 10 and 4 you just counted past
10 seconds. What do you notice the differences? Or similarities? What do you notice? After all that talk, only 2 people still? Krish, what do you notice?
In both of them, they had one piece where they counted by 5.
Okay, so they both
Like they both had to start like
had 5s. Good. So they both had 5 as the base count, but then something went differently with Parneet's versus what happened with Arjun and Prabjot's. Agreed?
so Prabjot and Prabjot did like they added 12 with 30, but with Parney they didn't add the 12 to the 10. They separated it.
Okay, so what's a little bit different is that Parneet and Vidula didn't the 30 and 12. Anything else you notice different? Yeah, Prabjot?
They have 5. I counted 6.
You ended up having 6. So Prabjot, Samema, and Arjun counted 6 groups of 5 versus Parneet and Vidula. What did they count by? What did Parneet and Vidula end up counting by? 10s. And they had 4 groups of 10. Okay. What else? Nothing else visually? Spatially?
They had different ways to solve it.
In what way? What was different about it? They did solve it a different way, but what's different about it? Great.
So Vidula and Parneet, they made a 12 by adding, but Prabjot, Samem, and Arjun, they just counted 5, and they also added 12.
Yeah, and so what do you notice about the way that they separated their... Look at the visual of it, of the separation. Okay, what do you notice? Look at the visual representation. What do you notice about that? What do you notice about it? Prabnor?
So in Pranita Madula, they group by tens, and Prabja, Samim, and Arjun, they group by 5 and 6s.
They group by 5 and 6s. So the grouping is different, and that's what we have here, right? And how did... It's not so much the grouping, because I'm you know what? I think that you could have done 10. I'm more concerned about the way that you did 10. How did Parneet and Vidula make 10? What did they end up having to do? Samema?
First they had 7, then they had 3, then they had 7, then they had 3, then they had 7, then they had 3, then they had 7, then they had 3.
Yeah, and then versus what you did. What did you do?
They had 5.
5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Could you have made 10 here? Yeah. Why is this, at least in my opinion, it may not be, but I want to talk to your group. Is it easier to count and visually see it this way versus count and visually see it this way? Which way to you is visually easier to count? Think for yourself for a minute. Which one would you prefer if you, don't worry about this part, the adding part, that's totally different. Look at it visually. Which way is it easier to see your numbers? This way of Parneets and Vidulas or this way of Prabjats, Samemas, and Arjuns? Which one would you prefer to see? Hands up for Parneet and Vidulas. You visually see the numbers okay that way? Fast? Faster than this one?
Yes.
Okay, hands up for this way. Hands up for I didn't listen to anything that Mr. So said. Okay, hands up for if you visually see and can add and see numbers this way, faster. Think about how they had to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Versus, oh, there's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Which way to you is faster? Hands up for Parneet and Vidulas. Okay, hands up for... In my opinion, yes. I agree with, but that's my opinion. Some people do see it this way. But you don't see the array. Did I have to count all these ones?
No.
No, I just knew they were 5, right? Or 6 or 7. I know what they are because the first row is what it is. That's why arrays work so well. Because you can see visually what they look like. I don't have to worry about it. So when you're doing arrays, try not to make them as messy or all over the place as you can. It's fine to see 10, because I do see 10 in here. I see it right here. Right? And then I see the 2 6s. If you actually looked at the Connect 4, what was missing in it? How many were actually missing? 4. See, I did it on purpose so that I was hoping that you would see 4 all the way down, or 1 more into the 5s. So then, before we go to Jim, can someone tell me what they think the learning goal then is for today. What did you learn about from doing all this? Greet?
By grouping by fives, by like a 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Okay, so grouping. What about grouping though? Because every one of these we're grouping. What's easy? What do we learn about how to group things together?
You know the faster way?
In what way?
Like,
Can I just make random groups all over the place?
You shouldn't group by twos and little numbers. You should start grouping by big numbers.
Group in larger numbers. Yeah. And group in. Manjot?
you should learn how to do different strategies. Like, in total, if they look on the row, so actually
Yes.
7, but they divided the 7 into 12, so it will be easier to plus.
Yeah, and looking at the rows and columns of the things that we're doing. Good work.
Mr. So,
Yes.